Finally, after months and months of waiting, the MLS has finally given a full schedule for the 2021 season, and it comes just 3 weeks before the first game is supposed to be played. Now, usually we're given a schedule not even a month after the MLS Cup final, but with all the uncertainties, the players' CBA drama, and the postponement of the season, it took well more than long enough for them to finally let us know the dates for all the games this year. And as with every big announcement, there are a couple big takeaways that you may want highlighted. The 2021 MLS season will consist of 34 regular season games that begin on April 16th. Playoffs are set to begin on November 19th, and the MLS Cup is scheduled on December 11th. The season will start off with 1 game a week, but after the first few months, the schedule begins to get loaded up. Because the league start was pushed back, the schedule needed to be backloaded in order to fit all 34 regular season games. It looks like later in the year, teams will play twice a week, once midweek and once again on the weekend. The big complaint about the schedule this year is the regionalization of the games. And if you don't quite understand what I mean by that, I'm talking about the Eastern teams really only playing teams in the East, and the Western Conference teams really only playing teams in the West. Now, there are a few games where we see the Eastern teams taking on the Western teams, but it's very minimal. From what I can tell, there is a max of 2 cross-conference games for each team. Also, unlike last year where the same teams played each other 4, 5, even 6 times, no team will play the same opposition more than 3 times this year. Now, I would like to think that this regionalization is solely because of the COVID-19 travel situation, but part of me fears that this may become the future of the league, especially with more teams being added each year. It sucks playing the same teams over and over, and it's always enjoyable to see the bigger teams from the East take on the biggest teams from the West. I'm hoping as soon as it's safe again, the future seasons of MLS will involve more inter-conference play. Moving on to more exciting news about the schedule, there will be a lot of nationally broadcasted games during this year. A record of 37 games will be shown through ABC, ESPN, and Fox on a national broadcast, and there is more expected to be added throughout the coming months. MLS has always struggled securing primetime spots on cable television, and it seems like the last few years they have been working on making these games more accessible to the average watcher. With more accessibility comes more casual fans getting to see the growing sport in this country. Now, just having nationally broadcasted games isn't going to dramatically increase the growth of soccer in the US, but it definitely is a big step from where we were and where we want to be. So that's all the big stories from the actual schedule itself, but with the release of the schedule, we also found out some information about a few teams specifically. A couple of weeks ago, it was announced that the 3 Canadian teams in the league would be playing in temporary homes for at least the beginning of the year. Toronto FC will be playing in Orlando Stadium, CF Montreal will be playing in Inter Miami Stadium in Fort Lauderdale, and the Vancouver Whitecaps will be calling Utah their home as they play in Real Salt Lake's Rio Tinto Stadium. Now, obviously, this situation is not ideal for the Canadian clubs, but due to Canada's COVID travel policy, there really isn't another option as of now. I've seen some reports come through that families of the team are able to move down with their players to help with this transition. Last year, Canadian teams had long spells where they had to leave their families behind as they traveled into their temporary homes in the US. Hopefully, this whole situation clears up soon enough so they can return to their actual hometown. Another team that will be sharing a home field with another team is New York City FC. But this situation isn't because of the pandemic. Ever since NYCFC joined the league in 2015, they have struggled to find a permanent home. They play in Yankee Stadium currently, but that was never supposed to be their home as they enter their 6th season. Obviously, Yankee Stadium is home of the Yankees baseball team, so conflicts with game scheduling often occur. In previous years, NYCFC had to play some of their games in their rival stadium, and that seems to be happening once again this year. As of now, New York City will be playing 8 of their 17 home games in Red Bull Arena, and the other 9 at Yankee Stadium. NYCFC and the MLS better find some answers to their stadium crisis before it causes even more damage to the New York club's fan base. And the final subject I would like to mention is that the Columbus Crew finally have a date where they will begin play in their new downtown stadium. The Crew is expected to have their inaugural match on July 3rd against the New England Revolution. Now, this match is supposed to be a nod to history, as when the Crew opened up their current stadium in 1999, their first match was also against the Revs. Now, as you know, the season is getting closer and closer every day, and the announcement of a schedule last week makes it feel even more real than ever. So let me know if you have any thoughts about the schedule this year in the comments below, and I hope you enjoyed the video.